We were kind of talking. I want to kind of just hit point real quick of guaranteed home replacement coverage. Uh, I think I'm what I'd like to discuss is when does that become a value, right? Because you're thinking, okay, well, my home. Let's say we did a replacement cost estimation on my home, and it's 500,000 to replace my home. Why do I need any coverage beyond that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think
That's a good
what you
point.
said earlier, one of the a good response to that question is, well, let's say that you had a home, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, all those homes burned down, right?
Fire.
So then all these storm chaser type people and
Mm-hmm.
contractors come in the area because they know they're going to get paid a premium amount. So if you don't have that guaranteed home replacement coverage
Mm-hmm.
or cost coverage, now the increased cost that it's going to be because of all these contractors coming in,
Right.
and their rates now went from what the standard rebuild would be to now plus 50% or
Right.
plus 100% or
Sure.
more.
And not even it's a really good point. Not even just the contractors, but it's all a function of supply and demand, right, in the
Right.
marketplace. And when you have a huge demand for rebuilding in a local area, that's also going to impact the material prices. It's going to maybe take longer because now the local municipality has how many permits are they trying to get out? All these things are going to the increased cost now. Like if it was an isolated situation where one house burnt down in a community, then that's not going to be enough to change the market in the
No.
area,
Right.
right? But if 500 homes
A
burn,
full subdivision because it was 80-mile-an-hour winds that day
that has
and then just got out of
that has an
control.
impact on the actual local market.
Yes. Yeah.
The construction market and everything. So there is endorsements that you can have on your insurance policy to protect against that risk, right? Whether
Right.
it's an increased cost endorsement where we say, hey, under normal circumstances, we think that your home is going to cost $700,000 to rebuild. And we come up with that with a detailed estimation, goes back to your construction experience, or we have the software systems to try to do that. And then we can add on that endorsement to your policy and say, just in case, here's an additional 25% if a situation like this happens in the market, or an additional 50%. Or really the best way to do it, and especially if you're in a nice home, you have a high value home or a real custom home, is you can have the best form of protection would be the guaranteed home replacement cost endorsement, where the insurance company is guaranteeing the cost of replacement of your home. And it's set up just like a normal insurance policy. We say, hey, under the normal circumstances, it's going to cost. We think it's going to cost $700,000. The insurance company is going to charge you premium on that $700,000, and then we're going to add that guaranteed home replacement cost endorsement, which is they're going to charge you some premium to have that endorsement.
Right.
But then you essentially have unlimited coverage on your policy, unlimited
Yeah.
insurance, and that's the best form of protection,
In some of these markets, these carriers like Chubb, for example,
right?
with that endorsement as well, they provide a an escalation ticket essentially for the insured. So when I say that, what that means is that they'll actually provide contractors or
Right.
reference contractors that are available. So like, let's say
Yeah.
you're like, no one, something happened bad and I can't even find a contractor to
Yeah.
do this. They'll actually assist in getting contractors,
Yeah.
referring
Absolutely.
contractors. They'll assist in the extra expenses occurred to bring a
Mm-hmm.
contractor from Indiana down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee to help.
Right. And
They'll pay for that.
Chubb in particular is one of our best markets for real high value homes, and they Chubb is on the more expensive side when it comes to the premiums,
Yeah.
a little bit,
Right.
but they're a luxury provider
Yeah.
essentially. They have some of the best policies out there that you can buy for home insurance, all
It's
the
the
way.
Cadillac.
It's the Cadillac. It
Yeah.
really is. If you have a $500,000 or $600,000 home, you're not going to be necessarily a great fit for Chubb. But if you have a $2 million home, if you have a $5 million home, that $2 to $5 million home value seems to be a really good sweet spot for
Yeah.
Chubb.
Right.
And they, as far as like the materials, they will source. We were talking to them the other day. They were talking about how they had to source some type of stone or something from it had to come in internationally because they actually will restore your situation, restore you back to, where you were. A lot of people have really custom homes and you can't get certain kinds of material. And,
Yeah.
your typical insurance company isn't going to go the extra mile as far as like importing, certain kind of stone that you had before.
Or exotic woods.
Right.
I mean, it stuff's real and it happens, and it's I've built homes
Yeah.
where we brought and shipped in exotic stuff, and when you're dealing with $1 million plus home, or even more, 5 million, $10 million homes, sometimes these people don't care. They want to be able to go up to the wood, smell that wood, and be like, you know what that is? That's the African bam bam, what came from the Amazonian forest.
Right.
It was harvested, 3,000 years ago from,
Yeah. And especially in a situation where you've got, big shot, big deep pockets. He came in and he bought that home
right.
that somebody else built.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
he bought that home, doesn't necessarily know, how involved it was to get that kind of material,
Yeah.
the process. But if he has a loss, a fire or whatever, and he wants it built the same way it was before,
Yeah.
because he paid for his insurance company to do that. Well, there's, when you're talking about real custom material like that, that's an issue.
Yeah.
It's going to be an issue. And when you better hope that you have a really good insurance company like Chubb,
Yeah.
or like Auto Owners.
Better hope you do, because it
or
will
some of
never
these
be
companies.
it'll never be what it was.
Yeah.